Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You're all the reasons why this keeps going. Join the Legion today at patreon.com/63rdlegion for free and help decide next week's new character. Joining my paid tiers allows you early access to my content, a shout out in my videos, homebrew D&D items for your games, and a chance to play some D&D in the Patreon community. We now have a Discord. It's just getting started, but we have some future plans coming, like events for Discord members and Patreon members. Today we're returning to the world of the Highlander for the most dangerous immortal, Jacob Kell. To say Kell is dangerous is an understatement. A lot of Highlander fans would say Kurgan was the most dangerous, but no. From 1555 to 2004, Kell amassed 661 immortal kills. Immortals the same age as him didn't even reach half that number. How did he reach this grand total so quickly? Because he didn't care about the game. Kurgan wanted to win, but Kell wants something else: the Highlanders to suffer. Because of that, Kell notoriously broke almost all the rules of the game. He even manipulated other immortals into fighting for him in large groups so he could claim the heads of the enemies, and then even convinced his so-called flock to sacrifice themselves to him. He's probably the most charismatic immortal ever born, able to manipulate just about anyone or just break their will. Combine all this together, Kell scared the Watchers enough to try and manipulate the game themselves to keep him from winning. They didn't even do that with Kurgan, though he did scare them. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. We'll also use another book, but it's not important to mention as you can just drop it and it won't do anything to the build. We're using standard point array to keep things simple, and we are multi-classing, so watch those stat minimums in case you use another system. Make Charisma 15, Dex 14, Intelligence 13, Con 12, Strength 10, and we're going to be dumping Wisdom with an 8. You have amazing focus, but you're a bit nuts with how obsessed you are. Kell is immortal. Reborn from Van Richten's will make you damn near unkillable. Ancestral Legacy gives you 2 skills: Take History and Religion. Deathless Nature makes you harder to end. You have advantage on death saves, advantage on saving throws against diseases and poisons, resistance to poison damage, you don't sleep, and you don't require food, drink, or even air to survive. Your long rests are 4 hours long where you are completely conscious. Knowledge from a past life lets you add 1d6 to any skill check you make. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. To finish out your lineage, you know the language Common and 2 more of your choice. For background, add +2 to Dex and +1 to Charisma. For your origin feat, Tough adds double your current character level in HP and then adds +2 HP to every level after. For skills, take Investigation and Persuasion. To end out this background, take whatever tool proficiency you want. More than likely, you have all of them. Level 1 rogues start off with 4 skills. Take Athletics, Stealth, Deception, and Intimidation. You're proficient in all light and finesse weapons, thieves' tools, light armor, and the saving throws Dex and Intelligence. Expertise grants you double your proficiency bonus to 2 skills you have. Place this into Deception and Persuasion. Thieves' Cant gives you more languages. First, it gives you Thieves' Cant, which is a coded language, and 1 more of your choice. Sneak Attack gives you bonus damage once per turn when you attack with a ranged or finesse weapon. While you have advantage on attack roll or an ally is within 5 feet of your target, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to the attack. Weapon Mastery lets you unlock special properties in your weapons. At the end of a long rest, you choose 2 weapons you are proficient with, and now you have access to those weapons' special properties. For one you would see, Rapier gives you Vex, which gives you advantage on your next attack against a creature you've hit with this weapon before the end of your next turn. I know you use a longsword in the movie, but this is all we got for the build right now. You're going to be able to get a longsword later, but you won't be able to use Sneak Attack with it. Level 1 Bards start with bonus proficiencies. You are now proficient in one musical instrument of your choice, and you get another skill, grab Sleight of Hand. Bardic Inspiration allows you to inspire your flock. With a bonus action, you choose an ally within 30 feet that can see or hear you, and for the next 1 hour, they have a Bardic Inspiration dice that they can use for any d20 test. This Bardic Inspiration is a d6, and you can pass these out a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier per long rest. Spellcasting gives you magic you can use to manipulate people. You're starting off with 2 cantrips and 4 first level spells. Your Charisma is your spellcasting modifier, and you get all used spell slots back at the end of a long rest. For your spells, Friends forces a wisdom save against a humanoid within 10 feet, and if they fail, they now have the charm condition for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. The charmed humanoid can attack you or target you with any damage causing effect, and you have advantage on all charisma checks against them. You can't use this against a creature you are fighting, and at the end when the spell ends, they will know you charmed them. Vicious Mockery insults someone so bad it hurts. Targeting one creature within 60 feet, you force a wisdom save, and if they fail, they take 1d6 psychic damage and have disadvantage on their next attack roll before the end of its next turn. Silvery Bards from Strixhaven is a reaction when you insult and inspire someone at the same time. Targeting one creature within 60 feet that just rolled a d20 test, you force them to re-roll the d20, and then you choose another creature within 60 feet and give them advantage on their next d20 test within the next minute. Charmed Person targets one humanoid within 30 feet and forces a wisdom save. If they fail, they are charmed by you for 1 hour and now believe you are their friend, but this will end early if you damage them or their allies. Cure Wounds heals you 2d8 plus your charisma modifier. Dissonant Whispers targets one creature within 60 feet and you begin to torment them. You force a wisdom save, and if they fail, they take 3d6 psychic damage and must use their reaction to run away from you. Level 2 Bards gain Expertise. Place this into Athletics and Intimidation. Jack of all trades lets you add half your proficiency bonus to all skills you aren't already adding your proficiency bonus to. For your new spell, Command lets you give an order to a person and they must obey. Targeting a creature within 60 feet, you force a wisdom save, and if they fail, you issue a one-word command and they will obey you. Like flee, and they will run away from you. Level 3 Bards now have access to their subclass. Valor, found in the player's handbook, will make you a battle bard. I know it sounds strange making Jacob Kell a Valor bard, but it will work. Martial training gives you proficiency in medium armor and shields, all martial weapons, and now your weapons are your spellcasting focus. So you now have access to long swords, but remember, sneak attack will not work with long swords, unless you have a long sword that just so happens to have finesse. They're called katanas. Combat Inspiration now allows those with your Bardic Inspiration dice to add it to their attack's damage, or as a reaction to add it to their AC. Remember, if your allies die before you can kill them, you don't get their power. You also now have second level spells. For your new spell, Suggestion lets you control a person. Targeting a creature within 30 feet, you force a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, they are charmed by you for 8 hours. Within that time, you can give a command of up to 25 words or less, and they will obey the command to the best of their abilities. The command cannot be to hurt themselves or their friends, and if they take damage by you or your allies, the spell ends. Level 4 Bards earn our first ability score improvement. Let's grab a feat with Fey Touched from the Player's Handbook. This adds +1 into intelligence and then gives you 2 new spells that you can cast once per long rest without a spell slot, or you can just use your spell slots to cast them. For these spells, Hunter's Mark lets you mark a creature with a bonus action within 90 feet of you for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. While active, you will deal an extra 1d6 force damage with each attack, and you will have advantage on perception and survival checks to find them. If the target dies before this spell is up, you can use your bonus action to transfer the mark to another creature within 90 feet. Misty Step lets you vanish with a bonus action and reappear within 30 feet. For your new spells, True Strike lets you make a weapon attack, and you can use your charisma modifier for the attack and damage. You can switch the damage type to radiant damage, and you will add 1d6 radiant damage to the attack. Bane makes people hate you. Choose 3 creatures within 30 feet and you force a charisma save. If they fail, they must now subtract 1d4 from every saving throw and attack for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. You've reached character level 5, raise your proficiency bonus to +3. Vicious Mockery now deals 2d6 damage. Level 5 Bards gain Font of Inspiration. You now regain all used Bardic Inspiration back after a short or long rest. You can also burn a spell slot to give a Bardic Inspiration. Speaking of Bardic Inspirations, yours are now a D8. You also gain 3rd level spells. For your new spells, Fear unleashes a 30-foot cone from you and forces a Wisdom save on everyone within. If they fail, they gain the Frightened condition, must drop everything in their hands and run away from you. A frightened creature can't willingly move towards what is frightening them and has disadvantage on all skill checks and attacks while within line of sight of you. They cannot retake the save to end the spell until they break line of sight from you. You get one more spell here, take what you want. Level 6 Valor Bards receive extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. You can also trade out one of these attacks for a cantrip with a casting time of 1 action, like True Strike. For your final spell, take what you want. Level 2 Rogues learn Cunning Action. Dash, Disengage, and Hide are bonus actions to you. Level 3 Rogues now have access to their subclass. Swashbuckler from Xanathar's is going to add some bite to your blade. Fancy Footwork stops creatures you've hit with a melee attack from attacks of opportunity against you for the rest of your turn. Rankish Audacity adds your Charisma modifier to your initiative bonus. Also, now you have a new way to use Sneak Attack. If you don't have disadvantage on the attack against a creature within 5 feet of you and no other creature is within 5 feet of you, you get your Sneak Attack damage on the hit. Steady Aim is a bonus action that you can use on a turn you haven't moved, and now you have advantage on your next attack, but your movement is now 0 until the end of your turn. Your Sneak Attack is now 2d6 extra damage. You've hit character level 9, bring your proficiency bonus to +4. Level 4 Rogues earn another ability score improvement, raise your charisma for better manipulation. Level 5 Rogues gain Uncanny Dodge. Now when you take damage from something you can see, you can use your reaction to halve the damage. Cunning Strike lets you add effects to your Sneak Attack by sacrificing damage. Now when you use Sneak Attack, you can add one effect, and the DC for this is based off your dex. For these effects, Trip costs 1d6 from your Sneak Attack damage and forces a dex save, dropping them prone if they fail. Withdrawal costs 1d6 as well, and you can immediately move half your speed without provoking attack of opportunity. Poison costs 1d6, and if you have a Poisoner's Kit, you can force a con save. If they fail, they are poisoned for 1 minute and can retake the save at the end of each of their turns. A poison creature makes all attacks and skill checks at disadvantage. Your Sneak Attack is now 3d6 extra damage. You've hit character level 9, Vicious Mockery now deals 3d6 damage, and True Strike now deals an extra 2d6 radiant damage. Level 6 Rogues get 2 more expertise, place this into Religion and History. Level 7 Rogues learn Reliable Talent. Now any skill or tool you're proficient with can never be lower than 10 on the d20. This does not help any skill from Jack of all trades because you're not proficient with it, but this will make expertise skills really awesome. Evasion improves your dex saves. Now when you succeed on a dex save, you take no damage and half on a failure. Your Sneak Attack is now 4d6 extra damage. Your character level 13, bring your proficiency bonus to +5. Level 8 Rogues earn another ability score improvement, cap off Charisma. Level 9 Swashbuckler Rogues receive Panache. As an action, you can make a persuasion check against a creature's insight, if they can hear you. If you beat the check and they are hostile to you, they now have disadvantage on attacks against targets other than you for 1 minute, or until they are attacked or targeted by a spell from an ally, or you move 60 feet away from them. If they are not hostile to you and you beat the check, they are charmed by you until you harm it. Your Sneak Attack is now 5d6 extra damage. Level 10 Rogues earn another ability score improvement, bump up dex. Level 11 Rogues learn Improve Cunning Strike. You can now add 2 effects per Sneak Attack, but still must pay the cost of both. Your Sneak Attack is now 6d6 extra damage. You've hit character level 17, max out your proficiency bonus at +6. Vicious Mockery now deals 4d6 damage, and True Strike deals an extra 3d6 radiant damage. Level 12 rogues earn our final ability score improvement, Cap Off Dex. Level 13 Swashbuckler rogues gain Elegant Maneuver. You can now use your bonus action to give yourself advantage on your next acrobatic or athletic check that turn. Your sneak attack is now 7d6 extra damage. Our final level is level 14 Rogue, and you now have Devious Strikes, adding 3 more Cunning Strike options. For these strikes, days cost 2d6 and you force a con save. If they fail, they now can only do one thing their following turn, either take an action, a bonus action, or move. Obscure costs 3d6 and forces a dex save. If they fail, they are blinded until the end of your next turn. A blinded creature automatically fails any checks that require sight. All attacks against them are at advantage. All of their attacks are at disadvantage. Knockout costs 6d6 and forces a con save. If they fail, they fall unconscious for 1 minute and can retake the save at the end of each of their turns. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 10, Dex 20, Con 12, Intelligence 14, Wisdom 8, Charisma 20. Your total character levels are Rogue 14, Bard 6. Let's dive in. You are a Master Manipulator. Your charisma-based skills can never be lower than 27 on the roll. You can have those at advantage, charm humanoids, scare them, or force them to obey you. You are a vicious fighter. Wielding a rapier, you're dealing 1d8 plus 5 plus 7d6 damage, can add effects to this attack, can replace one of your attacks with a cantrip, one of which can deal 3d6 radiant damage, and you can insult someone so much you hurt them. To round everything out, your initiative is plus 10, you're adding plus 3 to all skills you aren't proficient with, 6 of your skills are adding plus 12, you can add a d6 to your skills, inspire your teammates with a d8, can heal yourself, have advantage on death saves, and your total health taking the average is over 160 HP. Downside. Over 160 HP taking the average is good, but you're an immortal. This will not do much against enemies that can lay in the damage. Your wisdom is also garbage, so saves will not go well for you. But who cares about these cons, because you never do your own dirty work. Use your flock to cheat your way to victory, but not to win the game. No, you're trying to win something far more important. Vengeance. I'd like to give a special shout out to my Artificer tier. Thank you, John Martin, Christopher R. Hunter, Java Squirrel, Jonathan Haynes, and Daniel Saftler. You guys rock. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. And make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.